So I'm going to take us into story number 2 here because we had a lot to bang through here. This is an interesting one. But keep an eye on Amazon. We're going to talk about this, I'm sure, throughout the year. April is the expected
No
release date.
doubt.
There's a story here that Michelle caught, Ordinals launching NFTs on Bitcoin, sparking controversy. So there's a plan right now to put digital assets onto the Bitcoin blockchain. For those who don't know, obviously Bitcoin being the original blockchain, it is currency related only until 2017. The SegWit upgrade, which Mike, you can probably talk more about than I, helps us scale Bitcoin by introducing a new field. And as a result, there's now a new protocol that will allow the transfer of Satoshis in the blockchain network. So basically, you can create NFTs on Bitcoin's blockchain. And this is causing a lot of purists to push back on it. What are our thoughts on turning Bitcoin's blockchain into an Ethereum type NFT blockchain? Mike, maybe we start with you on this one.
You remember when Walmart was like, hey, we're going to do our Walmart fulfillment services, and they were about 8 years too late to the party because Amazon had the entire marketplace? This is essentially history sort of repeating itself.
You think Ethereum makes it not necessary?
I think there's too much traction with Ethereum right now to make it so that Bitcoin becomes a legit competitor there. Also, the way that, and I'm still trying to really study the way that they plan on doing this. You were always able to mint these or kind of construct these non-fungible tokens on the Bitcoin blockchain, but it just really wasn't utilized. Reason being mostly is that it's just not a practical solution. You're taking these, 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin, known as these Satoshis, and you are inscribing whatever you want that's immutable, right? That's essentially what's making it non-fungible. That's what's making it unique. You're assigning it to a specific code, a number, a serial number, and you're introducing it right back into the blockchain blockchain ether in the Bitcoin.
Right.
Much different from writing a smart contract, deploying that on the Ethereum network, and extracting tokens as you so please. So mass adoption wise, not quite sure if it's going to have the same kind of freedom, leeway, and ability to have the same impact. Reason mostly because if you're going to go buy a cup of coffee and you want to pay in Bitcoin, are you going to be able to pay in 2 NFTs?
I've got strong thoughts on this, Michelle. Before I comment, I'd love to hear your input on this. What do you think about Mike's comments? Is Ethereum still in the pie here?
I think the thing is that, 2014, I think, was the first time there was an NFT minted on the Bitcoin, in Bitcoin. So it's not like, as Mike said, it hasn't happened before. Someone now has come up with a way of making it not so expensive. And so I think it's one of those, things where people go, oh, yes, that's nice, and then turn away and go back to what that, we resume normal programming now kind of thing. It's the news flash. And then we move back to what it was that we're used to. I think it kind of does get messy though, doesn't it? There was something to be said about Bitcoin being the sort of financial marker of Web3. And not that I would say that I was a Bitcoin purist in any way, shape, or form, but I think that there is benefit in having one part of, let's face it, sometimes this market is insane. Web3. I think that there is benefit in having one part of it that is stable, that can be used as a measurement, and keeping it like that.
Right. There's a comment here, Aaron Casanova, great point here. Let's not forget, proof of work is still the method, while proof of stake is now ETH's consensus mechanism. So the whole concept around power consumption, all that stuff that we've just escaped, we're going back into it again if this is the way it goes. I kind of feel like Bitcoin is money, if you will. Like, that's their world they operate in. And everything else being overlaid as NFTs on chains, that is never going to work for Bitcoin. And I'll tell you why. It's not the tech. Forget the tech. This is going back to when social media platforms attract different types of people to specific platforms, right? Twitter's always a food fight. You get the cranky people. LinkedIn is the suit and tie crowd. That's going to be the case with the blockchains, in my opinion, where you've got a certain type of people, the Bitcoin purists, who do not want to do that thing on that chain. They're going to go to the chain that they feel it should be on. And so you're going to get the cultural aspect of the actual blockchains will emerge over time. So think of them as countries. Certain types of people are certain ways. And this is how we're going to see with the crypto crew. I'm just guessing. What do you think?
Let's use the business analogy, because that's really the point of this show, right? So if we consider Bitcoin to be Coca-Cola and we consider Ethereum to be Pepsi, Pepsi diversified and went into Frito-Lays and snacks, and then they came out with Pepsi Clear or Crystal Pepsi or whatever it was called back. Coke tried to replicate some of those things and failed miserably, right? What snacks are assimilated with Coca-Cola? None, right? So they can equally exist in their respective parallel paths. They somewhat need each other because it's still a very, very small market, in the sense that, when one of them blows up or sinks, the other kind of follows suit. Bitcoin is really the tip of the spear upon what direction crypto is moving in. People see Bitcoin falling, they kind of pull themselves out of crypto in general. So from a business analogy, as weird or stupid as that may have sounded, I don't know if Bitcoin is going to survive in that type of system. I think Ethereum has their flag planted pretty deep there. We've seen other chains come along and try to compete with the Ethereum model. We've seen other chains come along and try to compete with the Bitcoin model. Both of them have not been able to get to that point.
Mike, I got to add here for those. This is just the beauty of the internet. Crystal Pepsi was a clear cola drink made from 92 to 94. They discontinued from lack of sales, and they are bringing it back for the 30th anniversary in a couple of months.
Why not repeat failure?
You make some great points. I do think that they can both coexist, but they're going to attract different folks, no?
100%. Just like Frito-Lay people are more inclined to be with Pepsi just because it's all under that umbrella, right? Lionel Messi signs a deal with Pepsi that opens him up the door for him to do ads for Frito-Lay and Lay's. Coca-Cola doesn't necessarily have that. Now, is it possible that you eat some Tostitos and have a Coke? Absolutely. But the reality is that, like, when you're looking at both of those respective companies, they both have underlying value propositions that makes them unique in and of themselves. And I don't think the blockchains are much different.
I think
perhaps the Crystal Pepsi might come with an NFT, free NFT.
I don't think it'll help. All right, moving us on to story number 3 here. There's this is coming out of Cointelegraph, exploring the possibilities of Web3 telecom. Blockchain can help companies with the telecom needs of underprivileged communities. They're talking about third world countries here. Enable people to access mobile data services without the need for traditional forms of identification and individual contracts. So there are Web3 telecom companies. This is, forget about the whole transparency. They're trying to focus on, can the blockchain be used to help speed up signups, basically, for telecom. I just like the fact that it's moving into other spaces. We're just seeing the big picture, pull the camera back. It's not just about money and about marketing. Thoughts?
It's always about money. Always.
My capitalist pig friend down in Florida.
It's about increasing their customer base, isn't it? Currently, with if you have to have either a passport or a driver's license or a bank account in order to open a telecom or a telecommunications account, and you do not have that, and a lot of the people in third world countries do not, by making this process easier in some way, and if they think that Web3 can do that, then that increases their customer base, and therefore, as Mike said, they make more money. So this isn't about, oh yes, aren't we lovely? We're trying to help all these poor people in third world countries be able to have a mobile phone plan with us. It's about them going, we've lost 5% of our customers last year. If we opened up this new market, we could increase it by 90% next year. That's why they're doing it.
I'm thinking of the no income loans from the mortgage crisis days.
Yeah.
Fog a mirror,
Yeah.
sign up. There you go.